tell you the real reason Deontay Wilder will lose to Anthony Joshua. Forget about what all these other channels are telling you. You know, he's going to lose to Joshua because he's a windmilly type of fighter. He's going to lose to Joshua because he's chinny. You know, forget about that. That's not the real reason. The real reason Wilder's going to lose to Joshua is the fact that he has the experience of a prospect. That's right. That's the real reason. And that's the only reason he's going to lose to Anthony Joshua. Right now, Deontay Wilder has 39 victories and he's knocked out all his opponents, right? 39. 39 victories, 39 by knockout. Well, 38, but he knocked out Stavern, so he's technically knocked out all of his opponents, right? But he was not, the way they developed him as a fighter, it wasn't a proper way to develop a fighter. Okay? The reason I say he has the experience of a prospect is because right now, the best guy in his victory is a guy you could probably say in Bermain Stavern or Gerard Washington. That's a type of fighter you need to be fighting when you're a prospect. You know what I'm saying? For example, Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Jarrell Miller has 20 fights less than Deontay Wilder. 20 fights less. Yet Jarrell Miller fought Gerard Washington. Right? Deontay Wilder defended his belt against Gerard Washington. Jarrell Miller is a prospect. He's a prospect. Yet already he's facing the exact opposite that Deontay Wilder is facing as a champion with 39 professional fights. You know what I'm saying? So Jarrell Miller is being built the right way because he's fighting guys with less than 20 fights that he's supposed to be fighting. Guys like Marius Walk. Guys like Gerard Washington. These guys are good fights for you to fight when you have 20 fights. These guys are good fights for you at this level. They're not good fights for you when you're 39-0. So because of this, Wilder is not prepared to fight someone like Anthony Joshua when they fight. Anthony Joshua has like 20 fights less than Deontay Wilder, but Anthony Joshua is being built the right way. He's fighting guys that, matter of fact, you could even say that he was pushed faster than normal. For example, he was fighting guys like Dillian White, Dominic Brazil, Carlos Takam. These are good fights for you to have when you have 18, 19, 20 fights. If you think about it, he should have been fighting someone like Vladimir Klitschko in like his 25th, 26th fight. So he really fought Vladimir Klitschko really early on in his career. But this actually helped him because it gained him experience. It made him a better fighter. So in a way, or in a sense, when Wilder is in the ring with Anthony Joshua, there's going to be a massive experience gap. Even though Wilder on paper is going to look like he has way more fights than him because he's going to have like, 20 plus more fights than him on paper. In terms of experience, and even though he's been a pro for 10 years now, so even though he has more experience and he has more fights, Joshua has the better experience because he's actually being built the right way. I actually think someone like Miller is more prepared. If Jarrell Miller fought Anthony Joshua, he would probably be more prepared. Like say Jarrell Miller fights Anthony Joshua within a year. He would probably be more prepared to fight Anthony Joshua than Deontay Wilder because he's being built the right way. Being built the right way is very important in the sport of boxing. Errol Spence Jr. was built the right way. He wasn't just fighting bums prior to facing Kell Brook. He was fighting guys like, Leonard Bundu, what's his name? Chris Algieri. These guys, Chris Algieri was a world champion. He had won a belt. Leonard Bundu is a guy that, he had fought guys like Keith Thurman. So it wasn't like he fought Kell Brook and he was fighting nothing but bums. He went into the Kell Brook fight with guys, with fighting guys that were champions and had experience with other world level guys. So he had the experience. That experience helped him against Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? These things matter. These things play a part in boxing. That's just my opinion. That's my personal opinion, my personal belief. And there's many examples of this, of other great, fighters of the past, or other fighters in general. If you just look at the history of fighters, these fights, fighting, being brought up the right way helps you and prepares you for these big major fights. I mean, even Canelo Alvarez, I criticize him a lot, but Canelo Alvarez, he fought guys like Aristide Lara. A lot of people think Canelo Alvarez, they say he's ducking Charlo. He probably is ducking Charlo. I think he ducked Golovkin for years, but he was fighting guys like Aristide Lara. He was fighting guys like Floyd Mayweather Jr., Austin Charlo. He was preparing himself for guys like Gennady Golovkin and Charlo. And say what you want about him maybe losing to Gennady Golovkin, or maybe he'll lose to Charlo if he actually fought Charlo, right? Say what you want about that. Maybe he will. But the thing is, he has experience, so I don't think he'll just get blown out of there. Experience helps a fighter out at the end of the day. And in my opinion, I think that's going to be the major reason why Wilder's going to lose to someone like Joshua. It's because he doesn't have the experience that he needed. If Wilder had the experience that he needed, he would be a better fighter. Getting that experience develops you not only as a fighter mentally, but it makes you a better fighter, a better talent. And also you experience things that you for example, if you get knocked down early in your career against a top guy, if you're in a fight and a top guy is throwing you these, jabs, and he's jabbing you to death, these things are going to help you out later on, down the line when you're like at 30-0, because at that point you would have experienced being in there with guys who have good jabs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So these things play a major factor. And this is why I truly believe Wilder's going to lose. Experience. Lack of professional experience. Lack of development as a professional fighter.